and now I need to compete with all the top guys.
Whoa.
That was a pretty violent snap.
Hit hard. On the brake, Townsend, you see the front wheels are rolling. The backs were locked, and then he just locked it down, and he's just sliding as a passenger, and we'll see it here back into the tires pretty good.
Yeah. Generally want to get your head back on the headrest. That's a pretty light touch. So instantly the engineers on the timing stand for Zach Veach are going to start looking at all.
Brakes are so sensitive on the outlap, he just locks it up and can't get it stopped.
He doesn't have temperature in the fronts. We talked about...
We've done 26. Let's have a look.
That was a hard hit, and Lace just probably came around, clipped him.
Yep.
And what happened? Turn in, watch this. You break the right front steering arm, and you are a passenger at that point.
You can see them.
Day, Marty, was because of the expired engine of seconds behind Herder.
Dixon under third. They touch wheels.
That was Veach.
Flat tire for Veach as well.
And the S is here sensibly done. Quick update from race control. Veach and Dixon.
Veach just gets it wrong and touches the back. I'm surprised that's not going to...
Great, Paul. Here it is. Tire to tire. And you would think Rossi would come away with the damaged car, but...
Yeah, you give me the horn, you're going to get the horn back. I think it bent the toe. Look at this. Hinchcliffe does not give up. He's way out there. Oh, they touched. They touched.
Hinch just got big time into the back of Rosenquist.
And that's what happens when you're racing guys on cold tires and the leader doesn't pit. You're in the danger zone, just like we said.
That's certainly going to draw the review of race control as well.
I'd have to say that's pretty much all on Hinch, really.
Totally.
On the way in, you're going to have to come around Chilton again.
That in Formula One, but they're allowing it here.
Look at Colton Herder. What a start from the teenager. There's a spinner at Zach Veach.
In the gravel, he's got to keep it running. And oh, they touched at the apex there.
Yeah, that really, I think Zach should have probably considered backing up there. You really...
He was on the curb and just kind of shot over the curbs and slid right over into the other car. So the other guy gave him room.
That was Ray Hall, but I don't think that move was... We see the replay here. It's going to lose the back end, hustling into that final corner.
It's turn 19.
Which is your first corner.
Question yesterday, what's going to happen when somebody loses it and hits that wall? And we're about to find out.
So he got loose, corrected it, and then it switched directions on him.
Look at the guy come.
Opportunity. Here's Chilton. He's coming to the pit lane, and he gets cut off by Tony Kanaan, who's coming in as well, and just had nowhere to go, really.
It was a late call by the ABC supply AJ. Ryan Hunter-Ray first.
So he got loose. He was loose chasing it in the brakes right there and ran wide and had to go for the gravel instead of getting stuck. So he didn't have a spin or was off at turn 1. He just got loose on entry and then had to chase it across the track.
Here comes Ericsson though. Crunch.
Bad angle.
Problems for Dale Coyne rookie Santino Ferrucci in practice 2 as he'd bring out a red flag after getting offline and taking a nose-first trip into the tire barrier. The biggest moment came from AJ Foyt Enterprises driver Matthias Laced, who spun exiting turn 7, bringing out a red flag with damage to the nose and rear of his race car. Later, Takuma Sato took a wild trip down the turn 8 and 9 hill. Tony Kanaan looped his ABC Supply Chevrolet near turn 16. James Hinchcliffe spun near the entrance of pit lane, and Spencer Piggott brought out a red flag with a trip to the gravel of turn 17, where he would bury his Ed Carpenter Racing Chevrolet.
Auto Nation Sirius XM Acura, and he's tangled with Marcus Ericsson. 3 cars in trouble on the opening lap.
It all happened up in front. Hard to tell who did what, but
looked like Harvey was rotated perhaps after contact from Ericsson.
Big hit on Veach. That's like a 405 freeway log jam right there.
Happens all day, every day. Edge, let's see, I think that's Ed Jones. That's Spencer Piggott in the 21.
Front and rear, but let's take a look. Turn 9, wide, sideways, banged the wall pretty hard. Wow. So he got loose coming off the curbs in turn 9, and it stepped out and over.
This is what happened.
Just locked it up, locked the inside, and he tried to make the turn, and then he bailed out. It was too late to bail out and ended up in the tires.
The tough lesson for Rosenquist is he almost certainly didn't need to push.
Yeah, right.
You know, he had matched Scott Dixon. He was second. This is just to make it to the Fast Six.
The butt end of the wall right here. He's lucky he didn't catch that right there. But watch the end of the wall. Ooh. See that end of the wall? Yeah. That's right into the tires. It was Bomarito.
This looks like it's looking back down the track backwards, so that's all we have with him going hard into the wall.
Because if it comes, there we go.
Marcus Ericsson, turn 14, the last turn on this track. He's gone skidding.
So this is the last corner. He just got loose right away. Lost it all the way across the grass, all the way across the speedway.
Whenever they really lit it up, you could hear the wheels spinning. Oh, and he spun! Elio spun on pit exit!
Now he has to try to get through the gravel. Luckily, the gravel. So race control leaving Castro Neves out as we look at the tire.
That's
again.
A big fire. So there's something. There's fire right out of the nozzle right there. So they need to fix that.
Just out. Whoa, right across the front.
Knocked up on the giddy litter.
Way wide. There goes Dixon.
Hard goes around.
Wow, that is the trademark of a 5-time champion, and Elio Castro Neves.
Believe the speed, but you can see Rosenquist locked up there. Colton Herta gets clipped by Ed Jones.
Well, I think he made contact with Harvey as well. Harvey turned in on him. He was there at the curb, and then we see turns in right there. They make contact.
I'd say a healthy amount of that smoke was the lockup.
Yeah.
There's James Hinchcliffe into Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Completely locked up. He might get a drive-through for that as well.
I think that's the same issue.
Yeah, he had plenty of gap, and that might be a drive-through.
But Jack Harvey with a superstar. The pole sitter Rosenquist leads the way.
Rossi is getting shuffled back big time. And let's take a look here from Veach. We have an onboard, so we're going to see. Oh, he didn't get hit by Veach. He got hit by Pato Award. Then Veach had his own issue down at turn 2.
We understand that Pato Award will get a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact. Seems like just thought everybody was going a little early. It looks like it. He had to pull out of line. We saw
what happened. Watch that green and white car off the pit exit lose it.
Wow. So that's just him, presumably. Really, really ideal conditions here. Oh, and a big hit there from Fernando Alonso. Oh, dearie me.
Yellow turn 3. You okay, Fernando?
Lifts up off the ground, into the wall. Oh, and straight into the inside wall there.
And you know what? The actual impact, the first impact wasn't bad.
Robin Miller as we watch this incident with Fernando.
Second in line behind Colton Herta.
Oh, yeah.
Just snaps. Oh, and Will Power just missed him.
And that was
Miss Rosenquist.
That was strange, just how quickly that thing snapped. And Will Power, great head.
Yellow crash.
Been just outside the top 10 in the no-toe. Oh, that's very similar to the Pato Award.
Yeah, he was down low, it looked like. Down pretty low, below the white line, inside impact. Pancaked the wall.
Oh, Award goes around and hits the wall. Up in the air. Heavy contact for Patricio Award.
Are you okay?
Up on our screen. So essentially, the way the car spun was a carbon copy of Felix Rosenquist, except the car didn't fully complete that. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it started to go over, but it stayed on the ground, and IndyCar has done some things to try to keep the cars from getting too far.
Frontal impact.
Good. How many of your qualifying runs have you
Oh!
Hinchcliffe with a big one!
Big one. Up on its side, he lost it at the apex of turn 2. The race, and here it just snaps loose. He was up high on the track, way up off the white line there, and it just pancakes the wall on the outside. Just a dead flat hit, and it comes up on its side. It doesn't go over. Here it just snaps. Boom! Flat pancake on the wall, and then it doesn't go over.
Yeah, he's just high, and he's adding steering because he's going to struggle to make the apex, and that's a violent hit.
That is very similar to Pato O'Ward's that he suffered earlier in the week on Thursday.
It's a little bit high there, Jones. He's not down below the white line. Kind of similar line to Helio, but the rear just went on him.
He was sort of wishing it into the corner like it was kind of loose already, and so he was very tentative with
lane. Davison goes to come into his box. He just runs right in the back of him. I wonder if he's got damage. Look at that tire, almost went into the crowd as well. But
almost went onto the front straightaway. Elio trying to get sneaky and then gets caught out, not realizing that Davison had to get to his pit box.
Lucky that tire.
And then Kyle Kaiser put it in the field. That's Sage Karam on the inside.
Yeah, he was just way up high up in the dirty part of the track, and he was lucky that he didn't just push right out into the wall, but he lost it, had it straightened out almost like a Danny Sullivan, a spin and win, but then he got away from him and it went up the track and hit the outside of turn 2 wall.
And look at Will Power with the best view of the accident, just pedals the car out. That's right at the entrance, I think, to turn 2. Luckily, he bled a lot of speed off in the slide in the
front right tire changer ready to go, and King just comes sliding awkwardly into his pit box.
Yeah, it just looked like he misjudged the entry.
And that there's nothing he can do. So he got hit by the tire right on the hip right there. And
Erickson, the rookie, the lead rookie,
locked it up. Wow. On the brakes, on the downshift, hit the nose and the rear wing. So that's a lot of damage right there. Comes sailing in here, and you just see on those downshifts, the car's light, got no downforce, and it locks the rears. Pagenaud now needs to save fuel. He can't let Rossi go. We got a crash. And that is what Pagenaud needed when he was in the lead.
Sebastian Bourdais is in it. Sebastian Bourdais, Felix Rosenquist, Zach Veach.
Gets down the inside, and he's just, they touch wheels, and they touch. So he was obviously upset with Sebastian Bourdais that he turned in on him when he was there.
He hasn't even stopped yet. He's trying to discuss.
That wasn't a nice gesture slap on the head. That was a slap on the head. Hey, I'm mad at you.
Well, Ray Hall was about a quarter of the way.
You okay? Watch this.
At this point, Bourdais like, I'm just going to stay right here.
I've been that guy before.
I've been both.
And Bourdais turned in. He's in the grass.
I don't know if Bourdais holding his line as much as is kind of giving him a little bit of the squeeze going down the back. Car's gone, and at this point, Graham's up in the dirt and can't see anything in the tire smoke.
And then the guys in the back in that tire smoke, you can't see. Look at all these guys. They're all hard.
That was Rosenquist just flat lost it.
Yeah, hard on the brakes. You can't see, and you're on the brakes, and the rear end comes out from you. Those guys are just trying to lock it down and trying not to hit anything.
Look at Hunter Ray trying to, just avoid.
We've got an onboard of that. Here's a different angle. Oh, look at Bourdais' car climb. Veach is into the wall. Andretti gets through. Dixon gets through. Kimball doesn't. Rosenquist doesn't. Harvey does. Servia does. View from Jack Harvey.
Outside. Yellow. Go low here. Low.
Look at,
good job, buddy. Good job.
Look at
Came on way too hot. Look at this. Oh, it's a big hit for Zach Veach. Massive rear impact.
Ferrucci threaded the needle and then cut through the grass into the wind of the warm-up lane and avoided all of that.
And we were on our way to a record finish. The previous record, 26 cars finished in the...
Get low. Stop it. Stop. Through the middle. Through the middle, right. There you go.
Oh, wow. He didn't even give any throttle.
Dino Ferrucci.
Back onto the asphalt, and then right here, concrete patch, no grip. Lace loses it, and Ferrucci does another great job avoiding contact.
Awesome job not getting into that car as Lace loses it over the hump on that concrete patch, which is a bridge, and he just bumped it in.
Marco Andretti, let's find out what happened to Ed Jones. Back straightaway, turn 7, just glides wide and doesn't quite make it. There'll be maybe just a little bit of left.
Pit road power won the race off pit road, but again that lug got that tight, and there goes the right front tire for Will Power.
They dropped the car for Will Power off the jacks before of a bobble. And once again, for that 12 team so far this weekend, it's like they're under such pressure, it seems, to
play. And he just got wide, got out of the groove, and then on those slick tires, nosed it into the tires and stalled it.
Up ahead, this is from Felix Rosenqvist, his rookie teammate. And we made mention, he clipped the inside wall, which then sent him out. Is NBC it, and we've all, guys, been mentioning how rare this is where you see Scott Dixon make a mistake and have a
deep, just overcooks it. There you go, from the dry to the damp, and on slick tires, it's not happening. You're not.
The orange and blue Honda, there it is there. That's Dixon. Oh, there was contact in the middle. Rosenqvist, around goes Pato O'Ward. And a big contact head on with one of the ABC cars, one of the AJ.
Would have been all right, but then things sort of checked up and guys got together, and that's what happens when a camera hits the gearbox. So when power checked up, that sort of caused Ericsson, and they got into a ward, and then Pagano tried to slow down, but Kanaan was coming through and got into the back of Pagano. So just the accordion effect is tough to really single out anybody in that situation.
How about Rosenqvist? He was bicycling it. He was up on 2 wheels. Here's the view. This is Felix Rosenqvist. Look to the right. There's Will Power up.
Oh, yeah, Will Power got into the side of him, rode over his wheel. Will Power stalled. He's right here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, he's making the move on the front straight at the pit entry. Piggott was probably coming in, got on the brakes, and Bourdais nails him, and it just goes flying in the air like a plane.
Thank goodness for the attenuator that's now mandatory on, or sorry, the back into the field. Let's take a look at Bourdais launching it, Supercross style.
Yeah, I don't put any blame on Piggott. He made the commitment to come in the pits, and you got to get on the brakes at some point.
Turn 3, Rossi to the inside, Newgarden to the inside.
How did Rossi avoid? Oh, what
Rossi
a brilliant
keeps
job.
going, unbelievable stuff for the championship leader. These cars are inner
with Hinch.
Yeah, I don't really put any blame on Rossi at all. He backed out of it, but he still lost control of the rear of the car. Here on the brakes, right there, he's sideways.
If anything, Rossi pushed Hinchcliffe into Newgarden when the rear hit Hinchcliffe. You can see the steering's bent. Look at that. He's already hit a wall.
Oh,
so
yeah. Big
Rosenqvist.
crash. So he's brushed a wall and bent the toe link, and then in the brake zone, he just lost it.
Wow. And Graham Rahal, terrific reaction to avoid contact there with
a wild bull right here. Watch this. He hit the wall, and then the toe link breaks, and he's chasing that thing all over the place like it's a...
Oh, man. Hang on, son. 8 seconds. Look at that. He's all the way down in turn 3, and he hasn't stopped driving it. Right rear toe link's broken. Left rear's flat now. He didn't lift either. He tries to hold it wide open down the back straight.
Hang on to her.
Hang on to that bull.
I love the fact that he didn't lift either for the first couple of seconds. He thought he was going to drive that thing right back by.
What a wild ride.
And he's back out, and here's the lead. Eddie into one of his guys, and Sato is into the pit wall.
And Sato just comes in way too hot. I mean, he's 20 miles
to the back wing there. He flipped over the wing, but it looks like he might be okay. He's up and moving. And watch, it just snaps.
Big
just
save.
like Beach. Barely hits the wall, but can't get a hold of it.
Same crash, except he wasn't able to keep it off that inside wall, and he hit pretty hard. That right rear toe link, once that breaks, you're driving. It's like a forklift once that happens. Let's watch it again.
Here's that run. So he sends it in, and Rossi stays right there with him on the inside.
Spencer Piggott up ahead.
Still there. It's going to be one back, inside.
Well, that track flattens out, Townsend. When that banking starts to drop off, he started pushing.
James Hinchcliffe headed towards his best result of the season. By the way, safer barrier on the inside there.
And it's a good thing it turned around.
Oh, Colton Hurd!
No way! He's gonna wreck them both! Oh, man! Colton Hurd and Dixon in the wall!
That was very ambitious, and it just didn't pay off.
It's like threading the needle. When he got on the white line, it went loose, got into Dixon, and turned him.
You know, I'll be curious to see the backstretch. I said it.
below the white line on entry, and he came.
Mike,
Oh my God, that was close!
Wow, what a
Loose, and it just walked up the track and into the side pod of Dixon.
It's a tough call because he had the run.
Yeah, so here it is right here. He comes in deep on the brakes, locked up, and he's locked up forever.
That's got to be some issue with the rear brakes. I mean, that just seems way too fast.
But that's a fast corner right there. That's where.
Oh, Nelly. 2 signs.
Yeah.
How lucky was it though?
3 signs.
Yesterday, Ericsson went off, but he went off on the outside of that corner, and Graham lost it there, and then it got away. Watch this. Ericsson went off the outside, and he just lost the car here. He's very lucky that didn't end up hard at the wall.
Oh, man.
Look, it's only just scuffed the wall there.
Ray behind Dixon. Dixon gets wide on the curb on turn-in and has to check up. Hunter Ray gets into the back of him. We understand it's under review, but I think I'm going to point to the mistake from Dixon. They've got to consider that in the ruling here.
Yeah, he got kind of sideways there on the brakes, locked. He's all sideways, and then he gets tapped from Hunter Ray.
So just how great he was at Barber as he loses it there in the final corner.
That corner, I told you, that corner is just a little bit wide of the groove.
I don't think it's a bump, Paul. I think it was
this morning. Oh, that's big. Yes. He hit there last year as well. I think
that was the corner that got him.
Yes, exactly it was.
Right?
Yeah, it was that interim correction that really made that.
This time.
And Apex, I have done that. That's obviously 2 corners prior to what we saw. But that is the thing about a street circuit, is that you run those as close as you can. And if they're
to go, as we see, maybe just a little too wide on entry, Paul.
Yeah,
he went kind of dirty
over
there.
A lot of entry speed, and he lost the rear. But the timing line is.
So first,
see so many experienced, talented guys making mistakes. Watch him as he goes into the corner. The cars get loose, backs into the tires. Ray Hall's not
blown up. He was running 5th.
Shut her down.
He's in the pit area.
You're on fire.
That's not going to cause a yellow flag at all. He's now in the pits.
Inside his power.
That's not going to work.
Andretti's gone around.
What a move by Andretti. He did a complete 360.
Ericsson.
And he's just slices down the inside, and he just wasn't there.
Well, he was from way back. I'd agree with that. But the other problem is that Ray Hall was taking it
Watch Marco.
2.5 wide.
Marco does a complete 360, boots it, brings the front end around.
That was a sweet move. Graham goes to the inside of Marco. I just don't think Graham knew that power was coming from that far back either.
They're both giving Will Power into the tires.
Not good, and he's going to be stuck. Maybe. Boy, that's an authority in reverse. I've never seen that.
That will break a gear in reverse, and that's right.
What happens here.
Comes Graham Rahal out of the pits.
Car just got unsettled over that bump on NBC it. A little closer up. Same thing as what Will Power did.
Man, it really just let go instantly, with the rest.
So took exception to that. Look at this. He goes up to Bourdais after the session, grabs Bourdais by the chin strap. Bourdais trying to get rid of him, and then Kevin Diamond, the PR rep, steps in. Bourdais says, I haven't had enough yet. Goes around behind Kevin and says, you want to continue this? Oh, Sage Karam. Sage Karam in the smart style Chevrolet for Carlin.
Doesn't look like any.
He'll tell us more. He's all by himself. Or is he? It's Felix Rosenquist that runs across the front wing there.
Lucky break there on Power coming off of 4. Real lucky break there for Felix that he didn't have more damage than that. But not much damage to Sage.
You saw it in non-stop. Sage Karam coming from the back.
Yeah,
Sato checked up.
Yeah, I don't know why Sato was going so slow off the corner there, because he's got fresh tires.
No, you watch the replay there, Paul. He's behind Will Powers. He's got new tires. He's got such a run. Will slides up. Takuma gets in the gray, has to check up to not get in the wall, and because of that, loses so much momentum. At that point, Sage Karam drives straight through the back of him.
And Takuma had just pitted. Look at that. He's way up. Way up.
Yeah, he was just being on fresh tires trying to make up all that time. He was behind Will.
Ed Carpenter. Right at the back there. Here he comes through and loses it.
Yeah, just 4 cars all bottled up there side by side, and he got the dirty air. He had a pretty good hit there on the back of the car, broke the front suspension pretty heavy.
And around the outside, there's Felix Rosenqvist trying to get around Pagano.
That black and green car, Rosenqvist went big, but there's trouble further back. That's James Hinchcliffe, who's off in the grass. Joseph Newgarden, and Sato now is off in the beach.
I saw Dixon getting by his teammate Felix.
Yes, those SPM teammates, Ericsson and Hinchcliffe, had contacts.
Right side tires were already down, so somebody hit him from the...
He's green.
Definitely got help.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky it didn't take Colton Hurst's front wing off, because they made contact across the front wing, and it sent Bourdais around, did a 360, and kept going.
So Bourdais leaves the door open. Colton dives in and goes for it. They get together.
Colton got loose and had to correct, and it just sent him over into Sebastian. The outside.
I mean, I don't know what Rosenqvist was thinking either. That was a bold move on the curb. And then Newgarden just gets really aggressive with Hunter-Reay. He did try to do the cross-up, the over-under.
Yeah, it's just broke the front wheel. You saw the wheel was...
Now Ryan Hunter-Reay is to the inside. Huge crash. Hunter-Reay, Sato. Oh, no, and Rossi is in it.
A lot of cars.
Up in the fence is Rosenqvist.
This is disastrous for Rossi.
They're now 3 wide.
They just squeezed him. Sato just came over.
Down on Rossi.
Yeah, he just came down on top of Rossi and then swept everybody out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Man.
Up in the fence. So, very hard hit for Rosenqvist. Very, very loose already. So close, but here, watch Sato, and then he just turns on him.
Oh, and Hunter-Reay was kind of tight down below.
No steering for Rossi now.
I think everybody was trying to go after the single car toe.
Then watch Sato he tries to shoot that gap, and it was not there.
Not
so
on at all.
I would say at this point, Ryan Hunter-Reay saying, I might be done with Pocono. 2 really scary crashes in 2 years.
Sato collected just about everybody, and it sends Rosenqvist up. So similar to Wickens last year. He's so lucky that didn't get into the fence. It's on the brakes. He's doing what he has to do, but the cars just come right back to him. He was on the brakes, slowing down. Good driving by Ray.
Outside. Clear, clear. Oh.
Saw got through this. More heads up, smart driving. Watch this. He gasses it up and just goes for it again. Just like he did at Indy. He just... Yeah, he's into the wall way early, so hopefully if we get another angle of this, but he's way early, so I think he might have missed the line, Townsend, and just been up in the gray area. It's like
he lost it in traffic.
Yeah, it just got loose, clipped the outside, but I think he might have got in the gap in the wall, which is not a good situation.
He was following Joseph Newgarden.
There's the first hit. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, right into that gap, look.
These are the cars that got together at Pocono in that big accident. They touch. Sato saves it.
Wheel again.
Now, is this the Ericsson incident? Yes, it is. He goes sideways himself.
Oh, somebody's gone into the look. Yeah, he just got high. He's out of the groove.
He's not even racing anybody.
First lap out of the pits. It's over for Will Power.
Only car all night. Blisters on the first run. Early pit stop, and he's hit the wall pretty hard. I think he might be lights out because he's just rolling down the track there.
No, he's moving.
And it's tight down there. He just was on the apron there below the white line, and it got sideways. pretty hard hit here in the safer barrier.
Hunter-Reay knows he backs way out of it. He's just going to watch.
Yeah, he's on the
wait,
curb
and
and
now commit. Nice job, Ryan Hunter-Reay. When in doubt, both feet out.
Graham Rahall's view.
The Carlin car, and then pretty hard hit.
But lead.
Oh! Bourdais spins and breaks the rear suspension.
And then this happens to give him that yellow.
He brushed
There's
the wall.
Bourdais, just gets high.
Yeah, brushed the wall, bent the suspension, and then it broke as he spun. Beach barely missed. Whoa, what a
another. He's done it again.
Man, that makes me nervous, though. Look at Connor Daly. Everybody's slowing up, and Ferrucci finds a gap and just punches.
Masato!
Oh!
Newgarden! You are the man!
Is that Newgarden? That's Newgarden. They're fanned out 5 wide.
He goes in deep, really deep. Power. There's a concertina effect. There's 3 cars, 4 cars.
Zach Veach is part of that. It looks like James Hinchcliffe. Sato, Newgarden's going to go all the way to the back of them because he's got to navigate the craziness. It's all about the championship in this moment.
Graham came down the inside right on the grass, very similar to an old Greg Moore move, and he was just locked up and kind of
play. There goes Rosenquist. You can see Graham gets into Veach. Veach hits Hinchcliffe hard, and Connor Daly just an innocent victim along with Spencer Pig.
Yeah, I got to put that all. I got to put that all on Graham, and he accepted the blame as well. So very over-optimistic move when you're right up against the grass.
Yeah, I mean, you were already 4 wide, so to try to send it on the brakes, it's a pretty low probability.
He runs him down to the
Ryan,
bottom.
don't do that. Oh, man.
Oh, contact with Jack Harvey. Big crash, turn 1.
Went in way too deep. Suspension's broken. Game over. Look at this. He totally braked way too late and cleaned out. And there's Rossi coming around and gets through nice.
He's fighting over the same piece of real estate. Jack Harvey, the innocent bystander.
Oh, Rosenquist must be thinking, wow, this is pretty dicey between teammates. He gets around.
About that, he said, well, actually, I think there's several. As he goes sliding through, can he hang on to it? No.
Is this going to be a
can't
red?
hang on to it.
That is going to be a red. Like Days of Thunder, drive it into the smoke. Look at all that dust coming on the track.
Side, these two are like best buddies.
Yeah, I pinched him pretty tight there. Andretti kind of shut the door on him. Connor hits the curb, goes around. So this is going to throw the strategy at it. Who's going to come take tires? We've just had a round of stops, but who's going to want fresher tires than that front group?
I don't think you could afford to give up track position at this stage. That looked like me and you in a couple of rental cars, Paul.
And crossover on power. Further back, that's Ferrucci, I think, locked up and into the side of
Look towards the top of your screen. Big lock up and nails Takuma Sato.
Incident is under review, but these Santino's off now, pulled it off the track. Really not much to do after that. He gets down here, locks it up, and just slides right into the back.
Gets his hands off wisely to avoid breaking his wrist, but that's under review, but there's really, frankly, no point.